you are a new floodplain administrator, you may be wondering, what is the National Flood Insurance Program, or NFIP? Or maybe you're an experienced floodplain administrator, but you need to explain what the NFIP is to your elected officials, to property owners, developers, or other stakeholders in your community. The NFIP is a federal program created by Congress to mitigate future flood losses across the country. Participation in the NFIP is based on an agreement, partnership between communities and the federal government. If a community will adopt and enforce a floodplain management ordinance to reduce future risk to development in mapped flood hazard areas, then the federal government will make flood insurance available to purchase within the community, as well as certain types of financial assistance. Participation in the NFIP is voluntary, but once a community joins, they must enforce a minimum standard for development in the floodplain in order to stay in the program. Prior to the NFIP, the national approach to managing flood risk was primarily through large flood control projects like dams, levees, and seawalls. The public could not buy flood coverage from insurance companies, and building techniques to reduce flood damage to individual structures were often overlooked. Due to mounting flood losses and the increased burden of disaster relief on the taxpayers, Congress created the NFIP with the passage of the National Flood Insurance Act of 1968. We've learned a lot since then. We know that protecting the natural and beneficial functions of the floodplain result in fewer flood losses. Floodplains help improve water quality, recharge groundwater, provide habitat for plant and animal species, including threatened and endangered ones, serve as recreation areas, and most importantly, they give water a place to go. It's supposed to flood in a floodplain, right? Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, administers the NFIP. FEMA, along with its cooperating partners, create floodplain maps and mapping products. These maps depict a special flood hazard area, or SFHA, which serves as the basis for where local floodplain development regulations apply. Those who own homes in the SFHA may also be required to purchase flood insurance. This is because of requirements that apply to properties purchased with federally backed mortgages or their lender's mandatory purchase requirement. Flood coverage may also be required if one has previously received disaster assistance or other funding from FEMA. By participating in the NFIP, flood insurance becomes available for purchase in all flood zones in that community. Flooding is the most common and costliest disaster in the U.S., and most property and renters insurance policies do not cover flooding. 1 inch of water can cause up to $25,000 in damage to a 2,500 square foot, one-story home. Flood insurance is recommended no matter what flood zone you are in. In fact, on average, 40% of NFIP flood insurance claims come from outside the SFHA. Communities participating in the NFIP, including local, tribal, and state governments, must ensure that all development in their SFHA, including some types of work on existing development, complies with local flood safety regulations. That's where you can come in as a local floodplain administrator. You manage the program at the local level based on your flood damage prevention ordinance and through your local floodplain development permitting system. But you're not alone. There are staff at your FEMA regional office and in state government who are dedicated to supporting you in your important work. There are many reasons your community may choose to participate in the NFIP, including to make your community more resilient to future flood events, to help maintain and restore natural and beneficial functions of floodplains, to allow your residents to purchase federally backed flood insurance, to help guide development away from flood-prone areas, and to receive federal grants and flood disaster assistance in the SFHA, as federal agencies may not provide assistance there unless the community participates in the NFIP. We hope this helped to more clearly explain what the NFIP is and how it can help your community. Your job as a floodplain administrator helps protect people and their property from flood damage and helps maintain and restore the natural functions of the floodplain.